All right, I will call to order the Easthampton Conservation Commission meeting of May 6th, and we are being recorded. Are there any public concerns or non-agenda items? Yes, sir.
There's an issue on Lower Mill Pond. We talked about this a week or so back. One of the catchment areas where there's benches, the one closest to Millside Park, there's been sort of a crevice or fissure that's opened up. I've taken a closer look at it, and it seems semi-circular, like facing the apex that extends into the pond, and I'm wondering if there's any information about what's causing that and whether specifically sort of stormwater runoff and sort of drainage is impacting that.
So where are you exactly?
So, can I just point
Sure,
out?
sure.
Right over here. So there's like two areas with benches that sort of
Yes,
jut into the
yes.
pond, and it's the one closer to Millside Park, the one that sort of actually loops rather than the one way in and out.
Okay.
And sort of at the apex here, like if you drew a little semicircle, there's a fissure that's sort of separated from the rest, and actually part of the gravel area is now
Okay.
crumbling into it. And they've already, I know, DPW put some yellow tape up to
I see, okay.
for safety, but I'm just wondering in terms of what that's about and how that may, you know, continue to, you know, erode or impact the wetlands there.
Well, can you see where the water's coming from that's causing the erosion, or is just?
Well, no, not entirely, and I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we've had a lot of rain.
Right.
But I mean, I'm wondering just because when they did all the changes to the mill complex and they paved over what was dirt, so before the rain would just be absorbed there, but now I guess they've created drainage.
There should be retention ponds there to
Yeah.
collect the volume, but,
But those often actually don't seem as full as they should be even
Okay.
after rain, so I'm really just wondering, I mean, maybe we need an engineer to take a look
Okay.
at it to determine sort of what's causing that so that it's not a situation that worsens.
okay. I'll take a ride out there this week and just look at it. I'm not the engineer.
I mean, I
who-
can also show you a little.
Sure.
I took pictures and a
Oh,
little
okay.
video, so.
Well, do you want to show us a picture or just show the
Yeah, I
committee,
mean,
commission?
And you spoke with Melissa about this
yeah,
also,
she,
right?
I think she'd been notified by someone else, and I happened to run into her on that very spot.
Could you please state your name for the record?
Sure, it's David Jaffe, Jaffe. So I mean, I can.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, okay, no, I haven't heard of that. Do you guys want to see it?
I've seen it.
Seen it,
We
okay.
talked about it earlier in the week, or last
Okay.
week.
All right, so I guess I'll take a ride out and look at it myself just to have better information on it, see if I can determine what's the cause. And then we'll probably talk about it in our next meeting.
If you're facing it in the pond and you go sort of to the right, there's like a tree up there on almost on a little higher elevation. If you look down, you can actually see the fissure kind of extending
Okay.
toward the pond, which I hadn't noticed originally, but.
Well, it looks like I won't have a problem finding it, so that's pretty good, yeah.
Well, and the yellow tape will give it
Yeah,
away.
the yellow tape. All right, any other public concerns, non-agenda items? All right, public hearings. There is a public hearing for Beacon Solar LLC, Mass File 151-300. And we just received some information at the, late today.
This is 50 Florence?
Yes.
Yeah, 50 Florence Road.
I'm not sure where TRC is. Page 3 is really the substantive additions. We found more wetlands out there.
Okay.
Now the skunk cabbage is popping up in a lot of places, we found a little bit more. And we made the adjustments to the ones that we had identified in the past that needed to be changed. And then as we were finding those, we found other 300-400 square foot isolated pockets in the woods that were within, excuse me, within the property. So we went ahead and flagged those, and they GPS'd it. And I was given a plan, so that what I saw looks like what was out in the field. So it looks reasonable what they're providing for a plan. I just don't know what process, where you guys are in the process.
So those were additional areas that were not originally flagged by
Correct.
TRC or flagged by your review? the
Correct,
first time?
we missed
Okay.
them during our review, just because of the zigzag
Right.
nature of the getting around the property, sometimes
Yeah.
you miss them in these little pockets.
Yep.
But that property does have a lot of small pockets all over the place
Mhm.
that are, TRC did calcs on them to see if they were isolated land subject to flooding, and I believe 3 of them did qualify as land,
Okay.
isolated land subject to flooding. So they're not just IVW, so we got
Mhm.
some WPA wetlands out there as
Yep.
well.
Did you have time to really
I
look at
did
this?
not, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, yeah, because it just came in, you know,
Yeah, when I got the
Yeah,
information
right.
from Maria, I don't know, at 11 o'clock or something, I immediately tried to type some of that for you guys to
Okay.
take a look at.
Did we also receive a revised map at all, or no? We didn't receive anything yet from TRC?
This is all I had was a
There-
document.
Mallory and
Jeff?
Jeff were CC'd on that, but that, again, that was just this morning. We
Okay.
all just
Okay.
received that revised, because we just did the review last Thursday.
Right.
We finished
Okay.
it, they did the best they could to turn it around for today, for tonight's meeting. I was anticipating Maria here this evening.
Yeah, we didn't get it till 4:52 today.
Yeah,
so-
okay. I mean, I do have a copy of it, I don't know if that helps you at all. It's just, I mean, there's a million pages here.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to take some time to review this, you know, offline, as opposed to trying to.
Yeah, try to force it down right now, exactly, yep.
Is there anything in particular that you think should be called to our attention while you're here?
Other than the 2 primary areas that I'm understanding that they want to put the solar field is potentially here, and that has to be because just the openness of the lot. This middle section actually is not their land to use, so that's why it's restricted to here and here.
Mhm.
So we've added about an 800 linear foot BVW that dissects right through this section of the property.
Okay.
We followed it all the way down until it actually does go into the stream, just to make sure it wasn't isolated, it was actually connected. And you couldn't miss it. The grass was 6 inches taller than all the
Yep.
grass right next to it, and there was 2 or 3 inches of water when we were walking through it last
Yep.
Thursday.
So that dissects one of the areas they want to put panels?
Yeah, it's potential that's gonna intersect. And then we also added another one on wetland 8. We suggested about an 80-foot
Do you
expansion
mind if I see
to the wetland.
plan?
Sure.
And turns out it was over
That area.
almost 200 feet.
So where is that?
Yeah, it's a small wetland, 8. Where is it down in this general area? Okay, so this is the long one I
Yeah.
added. So 8 is right there. Better. What sheet is that? Right here. 15, 14, 15?
And if you could just wait for, no, you can look at it, but just wait to ask questions so the
Okay.
commission
Yeah.
members are done asking the
Absolutely.
questions, please.
I'm just trying to orient
Yep,
myself.
that's fine.
So that's the start of it. And the next sheet is 2 and 2.
Let me see this chart.
Yeah, kind of familiar with the property.
Nice polygon, right? I mean, this is that big, long, linear
Yeah.
one. It's in that sort of northwest corner.
Mhm.
This is the end of the next one down
Okay.
that we sort of start over here. The wetland that they flagged ended around flag 50,
Mhm.
and we said, you need more? And it goes up almost 200 feet up the slope. Again, a very narrow feature. You got a knob-like feature here, a knob there,
Yep.
and that's the drainage pattern.
Okay. Okay.
So it's just
That's
constantly
in here,
flowing,
right.
and there's a few somewhat level grade areas, and so the water's just
And so
pooling up,
there's-
and that's all
so
silt
the-
loam out there, so it does not drain well.
Mhm.
So we tend to have those, the
We'll ask
wetlands
those
really
questions.
tight in that sort of really narrow corridor. But those are the two biggest changes that probably have happened to this property. The other wetlands that we were finding, although isolated, most of them, or slight expansions of wetlands, they're not in places that actually extend more jurisdiction into the property. So it doesn't put more buffer zone, but the maps are more accurate. Just as in a big scale, here's a bunch of wetlands here, W6. Well, there's an isolated one right in the middle.
Mhm.
We had them flag it, it's on the map, but they're not going in there, and the jurisdiction of that does not extend anywhere
Okay.
outside of the BVW that's already there.
Mhm.
So things like that were sort of minor, it makes it more accurate what's out there,
Mhm.
but they were minor in changes, but these were the two major changes, these two wetlands here, because they're in a work area. We also found wetland one had a little bit of an expansion, but I don't think that's anywhere near where they were gonna work,
Okay.
just based on land use that I'm seeing out there.
And the jurisdictional isolated wetlands were where?
They provided that in the email.
Okay.
There's three wetlands, I think wetland 3, wetland 5, and I think wetland 9, there are isolated wetland systems in there
Okay.
that have, that they count out as being large enough to be isolated land subject to flooding. And Maria also provided stream stats on all the streams to prove that they are in fact all intermittent
Jurisdiction.
except for, well, I think this is S10, which is a perennial stream.
Okay.
So based on the mapping and the field work last Thursday, we feel like it's done, it's
Okay.
complete. You're more than welcome, obviously, to go look at some of the stuff, but we feel like we've covered it enough. And so I'm still a little dumbfounded that after 7 or 8 consultants have walked through there, we still found a few
Still
more.
finding more.
They weren't big, but they're still there. And I think part of it is the water table's really high right now, and the skunk cabbage is just flourishing right now, so it
Yeah.
really made some things stand out.
Right,
That probably
okay.
wouldn't have been obvious in the fall when it
Okay.
was done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Was Mallory out with you at all?
No,
Okay.
yeah, we never heard through the email that she was coming or not.
Do we review for a week the maps, or we do a site visit?
Well, I don't know about a site visit, but maybe we should just continue it.
You want
And just so we have more eyes on it, because it kind of came in pretty late for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, give Melissa a chance to weigh in
Right,
too. and
right.
If Mallory wants to go take a look at it, she can still do that.
Mhm.
But I think we had one missing flag, they put that up.
Okay.
Any places where they had a differential between what we originally had, they put it like, if it's between flag 7 and flag 8, they would do 7.1, 7.2, 7.3 until you come on to 8. So if you see any point something numbers,
Mhm.
that's what those mean. Those were revisions that were done last Thursday.
Okay.
Any other questions from commission members?
Mhm.
Any questions or comments from the public?
Show us again the more significant change in the, I think you said the northwest corner.
You want to come up and take a look at it? Dan can explain it.
I'm looking at Cypress Creek.
Oh, how you doing?
Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well. So the significant change would be along linear, and the reason it, in my mind, they're significant, it's not their size, it's just that linear transect through a potential work area.
Yep.
And there's a buffer zone associated with it, so
Right.
typically you folks don't want to get too close to the buffer zone or outside. If you can, that really dices that section of property up quite a bit. So it's this long linear thing here,
That's right through.
and then you've got this one right here. It's a big curve.
In the center, so
Yeah.
33 and 8.
Yeah. Well, you mean, which, you mean as far as sheet numbers?
Just the W there.
Oh, yeah. So W33, that's a new one, right? And W8, so that was an expansion of an earlier number. Of an earlier
And this
wetland.
would qualify for the standard buffer?
Yes, because that's a bordering vegetated wetland, yep. Because it borders on this stream that's been identified down here at the bottom, which is looks like S9.
And that was not in any of the other
No.
prior
Nope.
inventories?
Mhm.
Not any map I saw, yeah.
Interesting.
And
It
it could
goes
be,
right through
it could be completely a time of year dependent.
Sure.
If this was
Seasonal.
July, I don't know if I would have noticed it, because they're mowing it, because they hay it, right?
Right.
So you wouldn't see the grass differential. It's the same species of grass, it's just 4 inches taller because it's getting more hydrology than the grass is right next to it. So it stood out like a sore thumb the day we were there, so I could easily see how you'd miss these things.
But the soils back it up
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's BBW.
Yeah, no, TRC was looking through it, she goes, I gotta be able to justify it to her people
Yeah.
that she did her job, so we ran transects through to prove that it was actually this finite shape all the way down.
And you were both in agreement?
Oh, yeah, I'm actually the one who flagged it.
Mhm.
I put the flags up and I said, your opportunity to counter what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And she went and checked everything out and she goes, I can't, it's all right.
Good.
So,
Do you happen to have an extra hard copy?
you can take this with you, I just got this morning from Maria.
Make sure these guys have whatever they need.
Yeah, I believe that everyone was CC'd as far as I know. You don't need this bond thing. There's that.
Thank you.
And we'll
So
continue.
Dan, do you
have
want
an
to?
extra map like this?
I don't have an
You
extra
don't?
one.
Can we make one here, Nick?
I don't know.
Without Mallory.
Right. So these are the places where, this is Florence Road.
Yep.
And so the installation would be in this location and this location?
That's what I'm assuming, because it's the biggest contiguous
For
area.
sure, yeah. These were the dry areas, and then there was gonna be, this is just the service road.
Right.
Okay.
Between-
Right, you're planning on just using service roads as is,
Yeah,
no
we were
no
saying-
changing, yeah, they're decent width.
And we talked a little bit with Jeff and Mallory about, potentially public trail or something, so the wetlands would, again, not be a big factor, because you would use the access road.
Mm-hmm.
And use whatever we're using there. But it's popular wetland.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, it's loaded.
But this is a surprise, because this is half your system right here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. What happens to all the rain or water runoff from the solar panels? How is that going to affect the wetland areas? And how is that going to be handled? Are they going to put in drainage for it out to the septic system or to the storm drain system? Or are they just going to dump all that water back into the wetlands and make the wetlands even more wet than they are now?
I'm gonna turn it over to the developer because,
Yeah,
I did this because there's no plan, right? There's no development plan right now, this is just a wetland boundary.
Yeah, so we're, yeah, correct.
Correct. This is helping us get a handle on what's there, and then we're developing the stormwater plan.
So the stormwater is going to be dumped into the wetland area? Or are you going to have a separate drainage system for that would go into the city system?
I think we're still working on that, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Because if you're dumping more water into the wetlands, you're just making
Yeah,
a real
we're looking
mess.
at, there's several
Bigger
drainage
mess.
areas too, where there's, is that on your maps as well, where the drainage goes underneath the existing road through there? Did you look at?
In terms of in the middle of the site
The
or?
culverts, yeah.
Yeah, we looked at those.
And anything you want to comment on?
No, they
How
all
those are
seem,
handling current drainage?
oh, they seem to be handling
So
fine,
there'll be
yeah.
a separate filing, once
Correct.
they develop a plan, that will be reviewed by the commission and others, so that those questions can be asked and answered, so, all right, no.
And any plan that's put forth would be subject to the stormwater ordinance as well, so those questions would definitely be discussed in depth.
All right, so should we do a motion to continue to May 20th at 6 PM?
Motion to continue to May 20.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dan. Now, we have no other public hearings. We have a request for certificates of compliance for the Riverside Cottage Street Bridge replacement. Now, in our previous minutes, I thought Mallory was involved to look at photos and try to determine, but I don't really have an answer back from what was found, or because the areas that we thought were grass prior, but then the photos I looked at, it wasn't conclusive that there was a lot of grass there, so I don't know what we want to do with that.
And there were no notes from Mallory or from Melissa?
No, I don't have any notes from that. So in the previous minutes, it was, we performed a site visit, which most of us went to, and then the photos are going to be reviewed, and the things I looked at, it was just not conclusive that it's that much different. It may have showed a little bit more grass, they may have added more gravel than was defined on the original drawing, so.
I forget, we have an as-built for that, correct?
We did at the time, yes. I don't know if the files are probably still locked.
Oh, we don't have keys either.
Right, we don't have keys.
Seems like we probably need to continue then, unless anyone feels otherwise.
Do we have a motion to continue to May 20th?
Motion to continue to May 20th?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so moves. Did you catch up, just run you.
The
run
names
you-
are hard.
I know, run you off the road here.
Alright, you're good.
All right, emergency certifications, I don't see any emails for anything. Enforcement actions. There was no emails that I saw that were anything about 37 South Street.
Mm-mm.
Nothing about Groveland Street, Florence Road. I did not see anything from Autumn Properties or Cernak. I didn't see any storm event things. Never got forwarded either. If there was, because of the rain that we've had, there should have been storm event
We
data.
have Cernak here.
Yes, we have Cernak here, but I'm just saying as far as, I was saying Cernak, but I was thinking of something different. I was thinking the Loven property, that we didn't get any rain events from
Oh,
Loven.
you're getting ahead of yourself.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about Cernak, Westview Terrace.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Want to state your name before?
I'm Kelly Cahill. I did email Mallory, and Jeff Mag had emailed me back and suggested that I attend the meeting
Okay.
today. So this is, I printed it just so you know that I did do that. At the meeting, 2 meetings ago, Mallory had said she would follow up with me, so we would know how to proceed with this first year of
Okay.
monitoring.
Right.
So,
And you haven't heard anything back yet?
no.
Okay.
And I phoned the week before.
Mallory's not still away, is she? Do we not? We don't know why she's not here.
There was things that came up this week that she would have normally handled, and I don't think she was available, so I don't know what the story is.
Okay.
I have been out to the site. We're monitoring where we seeded.
Okay.
There's like some light green, but there's a lot of grass growing back.
You don't have to water
cabbage
much, right?
everywhere. No, no watering.
Oh, sorry.
And the trees, really, the majority
Yeah,
are
survives.
doing
That's
very
good.
well, so
Everything's leafing out.
everything is leafing out.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
and the pine needles, I think we'll probably lose a couple of pine trees,
Mhm.
but
Okay.
they look good, so.
That's good.
What are you seeing in terms of invasives?
Japanese, barberry.
Mm-hmm.
Autumn olive I have seen, but I think there's a big bush of that at the entrance, and I wanted to identify it. I
Mhm.
did buy a book, but I'm not sure how it's hard to identify
Mhm.
them from the book, so
Okay.
that was one of my questions too.
Okay.
Because last year I had access to, Casey helped me a lot with that.
Mhm.
So multiflora rose is a very popular one I've seen, and the bittersweet. I've looked for Japanese knotweed. I know, I've read that it's along the bike path. I haven't seen any.
Did you have any that was removed? I don't remember there being any.
No, I never found any,
Okay.
and Casey had helped
Good.
me look. I know, I was kind of excited not
Yeah,
to
I
find
don't
it.
think we saw it on any site visits. I don't think
No.
so.
And
It's
then
good.
the mustard,
Oh,
garlic
yes,
mustard.
garlic mustard, yes.
Yep.
So Melissa had shown me that,
Okay.
but I haven't really seen, the Japanese knotweed, so.
Mhm.
That's good then.
Remind me, is there ongoing invasive monitoring that GZA is assisting with, or is it just you at this
No, we
point?
do
Just
it.
you, okay.
Any other questions or comments?
And the specific guidance that you're looking for, Kelly, is what? I forget exactly what Mallory was supposed to.
Well, I think
Help
she's
sort
going
out.
to look at the enforcement order
Mhm.
and just see what
What the next
time of
steps and times
year,
were. Okay.
how she would define it a little bit more, now that we
Okay.
made it through the first
Right.
level of
Mhm.
reconstruction.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that was just where, so I will, continue, you know, obviously, we're out there monitoring things and
Mhm.
doing the basics, but I don't know how she would want me to handle the rest, so
Okay.
basically, that's where we're at.
All right. All right, so I think we're good. Appreciate you coming in tonight.
Okay.
I'll try to track down Mallory tomorrow, see what's going on.
Okay.
Do
So-
we need her to come back next meeting, or?
Probably, yes, but you said you emailed her, but it didn't go through, or it didn't?
Well, it went through, but then Jeff Bagg
Jeff
replied to
covered it,
me
okay.
and said I should probably attend this evening.
Right, okay. All right, well, I'll try to catch Jeff tomorrow.
Okay, or if there's a better way to reach
Yeah.
her, I mean, I tried, I had 3 different emails for her, so I sent to all 3.
Okay.
And, so I don't know if it's better to do that or to continue leaving a phone message, either.
I think the
either way.
email's probably easier
The
to,
best way.
the best
Mhm.
way, just so that she can
Mhm.
keep a list of things instead of trying to do phone messages.
Okay. Do you want to keep
I'll take
this
that, I'll
copy?
take that copy to track down Jeff tomorrow. All right, thank you.
All right, very good, thank you.
All right, open space updates. We don't have anything, I did not see any emails or anything on Echodale Orchard. And I did not see any other updates from Lathrop.
Mm-mm. Do we have anything on St. Bridget's?
Yeah, I
Did you
should,
s-
I thought I saw an email on that. Did you look at this email?
I didn't.
Okay.
I don't think I, or maybe it did. When did it come through?
It just came in.
Today?
Yeah,
If it was
at
today, I haven't
5:11.
seen it.
Yeah, it came in at 5:11 today.
Yeah, no, I definitely haven't seen it.
So that email was just the enforcement action. What was the next steps? They're gonna come back, or?
This was attached to the email?
Mhm.
Have we already seen this? This was dated April 18th. It doesn't look familiar.
I don't recall seeing that,
What was the date of our last meeting? Was it after that?
but the last meeting
No,
was April
22nd.
22nd.
Hmm. Have you seen this?
Doesn't look familiar to me.
It
Must
looks
have
like
picked
that
the
is
wrong
their
one.
action plan,
Okay,
and they're looking for approval of it,
but then I don't recall that.
but I don't.
last email I had was from 3/28 that even discussed this, and then the one from 5/12 today, so this one
Mhm.
never got forwarded to us.
Right, so part of the email says, "We've not heard back from you or the commission on the proposed action plan, which was submitted earlier this month. Any comments? May the cemetery staff initiate
Right.
these proposed action items?"
So that was sent on April 29th just to Mallory.
The original was.
Right.
Okay.
And I don't think it was
We haven't
forwarded.
seen it
Yeah, I
until
don't
today.
think we received it yet.
Did Melissa send us 2 emails at the same time? Back to back?
Yeah, one was about 50 Florence Road.
And what was the other one?
This one.
Same,
Same
Bridget.
page.
And there were 2 attachments on the one she sent today.
What was the other attachment?
It's not opening for me, so.
I can never open these attachments, they come through
I
as
swore
DAT
that's
files.
what,
The one for St.
2
Bridget's?
attachments.
Yeah.
It was this.
This
Yeah.
one's
Just that?
this.
One was the memo and the other was the map there.
Oh, okay,
it's
so that's
separated,
right.
yeah.
Do we wanna talk through each of those items, since that's their plan?
Sure.
Since we haven't done it yet?
Let's do that then. Just trying to understand why this won't open if it's a PDF.
So the first item was cease deposition of all excess soil within 100 feet of wetlands. New excess soil shall be placed near the shed adjacent to Everett Street and subsequently moved off the property. This is in the northeast corner of the cemetery property. You could probably see if you looked here. Northeast. I'm not aware of any shed in this corner of the property, are you?
I don't know that area well.
This is in the northeast corner of the cemetery property. But it says adjacent to Everett Street. I think they meant southeast, perhaps. I think they mean here.
Okay. We only toured that area. We didn't walk the whole property.
So that may be a point of clarification.
Okay.
Can I write on this?
Sure.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I think we need clarification on where the shed is. It was indicated that it's in the northeast corner, but adjacent to Everett Street, so I suspect they actually mean the southeast corner, and then it may be this building that's visible on the map, but
Okay.
that's not clear. If that is the location, it's also not clear that that wouldn't be within, it might be just outside of 100 feet of the wetland boundary.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I think this is the, did you see this in color originally? Is this the buffer, all of this?
I thought it was.
Okay, then I think that it looks like that shed is within the boundary, which would suggest that that may not be a great place for stockpiling.
But then again, it just came out too, right before the meeting. Have everyone look at it.
Near shed adjacent to Everett Street.
Yes, there's gotta be that shed.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if that's in the buffer or not. I mean, it looks like it's half of it.
Yeah, it looks like it's half in the buffer, so if they're intending to place things on the Everett Street side, that's probably okay.
Okay.
But we wouldn't want them to put it on the north side. The second item is to install erosion controls consisting of straw wattles between the existing soil stockpile and the drainage channel on the eastern property line. That seems appropriate.
Okay.
Following the installation of erosion controls, remove from the wetland buffer zone the following for off-site disposal: excess soil, concrete and asphalt, signs, and other stockpiled debris. So that I presume would be all of the material we looked at during the
Yeah,
site
we saw the
visit.
concrete that was along the side of that
Mhm.
gully behind the little shed.
Right. Remove excess soil deposited in several locations along the northern edge of the cemetery. Seed with grass, mix and mulch with straw. Note that this area is more than 100 feet from wetlands but poses potential erosion towards Mill Pond. So those areas aren't marked, but
Won't be any place where they remove anything that's gonna
Right.
be disturbed, so.
right. No work shall be conducted until this action plan is approved by the Conservation Commission or agent.
Okay.
Note, materials placed within wetlands or drainage channels shall not be removed until completion of the wetland delineation and assessment to be completed prior to June 10th and following an approved restoration plan.
All right, so we'll see. But I
So
guess
we'll see.
they want an answer to this so they can, you know,
Right.
put their plan together, so.
Right.
I'll stop in to see Jeff tomorrow and see if I can find out what's going on.
Okay. Any other thoughts on the adequacy of this?
I think in general, it's okay. I
Mhm.
mean, they'll have to put a detailed plan together that will,
Right, the restoration plan.
yeah, that will be able to review.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 kind of confuses me. Remove the soil, and then they say it's not in the buffer zone, but it possesses potential erosion towards Mill Pond.
So those were areas where I think there were piles of soil that had been
They just
kind
dumped
of
it,
dumped on the edge.
Uh-huh.
So they're
Right.
going to remove those back to the original grade, I would presume, and then seed and mulch.
So we just don't want them washing down the gully.
Right,
That's
yeah.
all. So.
Okay.
We didn't actually see those areas along the north edge,
No,
but
I assume it's similar to the areas
Yeah.
that we did see, so.
right. And I think it would be appropriate to remove the soil
Mhm.
piles before restoring that.
All right. Anything else?
I'll pass this on to you.
Thank you. All right, so I skipped ahead to open space updates, which there are none. So let's look at compliance updates. Pleasant Street Mills, we did have a conversation about that, so I'll take a look at that tomorrow just to have my own eyes on it to see if I can understand what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Lathrop, I didn't see any emails on Lathrop.
No.
Invasive plant management. Wilson Northampton School, the cross-country running trail, no updates on that. City of Easthampton, National Water Ponds, vegetation management, I didn't see any updates on that. Loven Properties, we should have seen some rainwater
Mhm.
things, but if Mallory was not in, they probably didn't get forwarded to us. So Mark Reed probably did do those, but we'll have to confirm. Riverside Industries, we talked about that a little bit prior. 19 River Street, Mr. LeGrand's probably underwater with his project, so it's nothing happening. The City of Easthampton, White Brook, Broad Brook, dredging, no information on that. Holistic Industries, 155 Northampton Street. I see them working on the building. I see fences up, I see silt fences, and I believe Mallory had done a site visit there.
Okay.
One Industrial Loft LLC, 1 Ferry Street, Tract 1 and 2. I haven't heard of any activity on that.
And the last we knew, it hadn't been recorded either, I believe.
Okay,
I think that was the last.
For one industrial ops?
Mhm.
yes.
No, it's just no.
Nothing, okay.
Yeah, just no update. Easthampton Park Solar 1 LLC, 232 Park Street. I haven't seen any emails or updates on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we noticed activity.
You noticed some activity, right?
Yeah, it was quiet last week because of the
Okay.
rain, but they're back at it. Although I don't see them coming in and park. I don't see any trucks, but I hear them back there, unless they're coming back through the pond.
With equipment? You showed pictures before, right?
Yeah, but this is too hard to get to. I heard them all day today, but there were no trucks, so I was just kind of wondering where they came in from.
Really? Okay.
Like they were basically on the eastern side of the property,
Eastern side.
so right behind the park,
Mhm.
Northampton Park.
Mhm.
I know you can go to where the water shed is and park there. That's how I hiked through it.
Okay.
But I'll
And so
keep my ears and eyes open.
we still don't know if that was recorded or if they had a pre-construction
I
meeting.
think
To
that
the best
was
of my knowledge,
Mallory
we did not.
takeaway, kind of looking to start order or whatever she called it, to begin activities.
Yeah, still the same, not clear if the
Yeah.
order has been recorded, or if they gave notice that construction was beginning.
Right.
All right, River Valley Co-op, 228 Northampton Street. I don't see any activity, and I haven't seen any emails updating us on anything there. And the City of Easthampton, Mass DEP file 151-302 for the pump house demolition. And we talked about that at the last meeting, looked at photos.
We appear to have a signature page here.
So I was looking to see if we have.
Did we,
Yeah, where are we? I don't see that on the agenda.
We have not seen that.
it would
Well,
have
it was-
been,
it
from
was- it would've
last time,
up
it would have
front.
been in the public hearing.
Yeah, it would have been in the public because it was,
And I believe that we gave it the go-ahead, right?
Motion to issue
Mhm.
an order of conditions with the special conditions discussed.
Yes. So we need to ratify. And we have that paperwork.
all right, so it is a order of conditions.
Yes.
Paperwork, so
Yep.
motion to ratify the order of conditions for the pump house demolition at Lower Mill Pond.
I'm not sure that we even need to do that. I think we just need to
Just
sign.
sign?
Yeah.
So because we,
Because we motioned to issue and order it.
okay, all right.
I used the wrong word. We don't
Okay.
have to ratify
All right.
anything. We just have to sign so that it can be filed. Or delivered, rather.
I don't know if I'm writing this right, but I'm just gonna, I'll edit it later. My first signature.
Did the minutes before you had to sign. But thank you for doing the minutes.
So that expiration date will be 5/6/2020. 22. 19, 20.
Yeah,
I've-
3 years, valid for 3 years.
I'm not sure actually if it's, it may get backdated to last meeting, since that's when we approved it. I'm not certain if it's actually 5/6 or if it's April
Oh, that's true.
22nd. We'll have to clarify that.
All right, under general business, meeting minutes from April 22nd. We have enough people to approve them. I didn't see any edited copy. So do we want to approve them, or do we want to wait? Normally Melissa cleans them up and sends a copy out, which I did not see.
I'll send you an email.
I'm not sure if these are edited or not.
I'm going to say these are the original, well, I can't say that. Normally she sends a copy out.
Yeah, let's wait.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
All right, we'll skip that then. No correspondence, no agent updates. And do you see a copy of anything that has to do with
Eversource.
certificate of compliance for Easthampton manufactured gas plant?
No, I haven't.
There's nothing in the paperwork that was left here, right?
No.
Okay. So that was on the,
Oh, what's that? That's it. Was that left here?
that was
Yeah.
left here.
That's it.
All right, so that must be, so,
You're just hiding it.
so it's a request for certificate of compliance for Mass DEP file 151147, 151199. I just read all those off.
Yeah.
Filed by Eversource Energy for coal tar remediation.
And this work was done, or at least the order was issued over 20 years ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
So they must be just trying to clean it up and get the CFC.
Yeah.
So that'll probably go on our next agenda, maybe. I know that 2 of our members will not be able to discuss this.
So we'll want to get information from Mallory if there's anything to be heard. These drawings are all dated 2001, so it may have been a misnomer that it was over 20 years ago.
Okay.
But it was close to 20 years ago.
Yeah, great.
Are there any? looks like we have a number of pages of detailed plans from 2001. So we have the original of what was intended to be done. We have a current aerial with the approximate site parcel and parcel boundary. And are they seeking to close 3 different?
It looks like
They're
there's
seeking to
three
close 3 different
yeah.
files,
Yeah,
okay.
there's three different files listed.
But we likely are not going to have any indication of what was actually done. Oh, here, more photographs.
So what's the request from that source?
To close, to issue orders of, or certificates of compliance for 3 open orders that are outstanding from the early 2000s.
Which, none of us were here.
Right. And the company that filed the notice of intents no longer exists.
The source doesn't have any documentation.
You don't know?
Yeah, it's unclear.
It looks like they're removing material, they're planting grass, they're planting trees, they're, it looks like they did have a plan, but
There ought to have been,
There's gotta be a record somewhere, though.
yeah, there ought to have been samples taken and tested, it looks like.
there's lots of drawings, but not a lot of a description
Right.
that says, oh, we're gonna do this, and
My table next meeting when Mallory's here.
we're gonna have to, I guess.
Yeah, but
So
picking
we'll
up
include it on
bios, I
the-
mean, we had an older one for those Holly Circle people, right, from
Yeah.
'98,
Mhm.
so she was looking into that.
Yeah, so we'll have to have her look through the files. So we'll put it on the agenda for, what's the next meeting? May 20th?
20th, no, right, 22nd.
Motion to table to the 5/20 meeting. For Mass DEP file 151-147-199 and 209.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Do you see a receipt of a notice of intent?
This
one-
is the one that we just read to remind
That's it,
ourselves that it's
okay,
still there with no action.
no action. All right, so I didn't see any other files that were dropped here, or anything
Mhm.
that came in the mail. We're not getting email updates of things that had come in. it, so.
Nope.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn till next meeting on 5:20.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.